welcome to Life in Envelopes. I am Jennifer Bleecher. This channel is all about planning, budgeting, paying off debt, and my very exciting journey from full-time teacher to full-time Etsy shop owner and YouTuber. So if that is something that you think you would like to see, then please subscribe to my channel. I would love to have you along on this journey. In today's video, we're going to be closing out the month of February. Wow, what a month. I feel like it's really been a roller coaster ride budget-wise. So if you watched my video yesterday where I shared my Etsy income with you, you would have seen that we were currently negative in our business account by almost a couple $100s. We still are going to receive one more check in February on Monday, because Monday is still part of February. So I have looked ahead and to see how much that check's going to be, and it's going to be enough to cover the amount that we are negative, and maybe a little bit more than that too. So we are good. So the money that I'm using to budget this week is just fine. That was something I was worried about. I was worried that I would have to return some of my income back to my business budget, which was going to be hard to do. So I'm glad that that's not going to happen. Okay, let's jump in and see all the numbers. In today's video, I'm going to be using the Budget by Paycheck workbook by the Budget Mom, and I do have a link to her website in the description box below. Okay, so I always like to start with the expense tracker. This is where I start my budget each week. I would list out everything that was purchased, and then I highlight it using these highlighters from Amazon. They are retractable. I do have a link to these highlighters and the label maker that I used to make these labels in the description box below. I have an Amazon storefront where all of these types of things are listed. So I highlight by category, and then I make a key at the bottom for each category, and that is extremely helpful when I go to close out my month, which is today. We're closing out the month, to have all of this information right here at the bottom. It makes it much easier than trying to go back and calculate every category at the end of the month. Okay, so let's go to the calendar and see where our money went this week. Starting with bills. We had one bill to Alliant Energy, and that was for gas for our home, and it was $139. Then we had one debt payment this week to Navient. Now I am on an income-driven repayment plan with them. So, oops, sorry. So I am on an income-driven repayment plan with them, which is why my payment is so low, and it's time for me to resubmit my income statements to see if I can continue on the program or what's going to happen. So it will be interesting because my income has increased this year since the beginning of the year to now. I'm sorry, not the beginning of the year because that would be January, but since I did that until now, it has changed. So it'll be interesting to see if that's still going to be the same or if that's going to increase. We'll find out. Okay, going on to food. So we had our normal 2 shopping trips this week. We usually do a Sam's Club trip and then a second trip. For a while I was going to Aldi, and I've been getting questions about why I stopped going there, and the reason why is because I just haven't had luck finding what I'm looking for there. So I've just found it easier to go to Fairway because they almost always have what I want and what I'm looking for. So I just decided to stick with them going forward. Okay, so Sam's Club we spent $130. Let's see. I have a birthday sticker here, so it's throwing things off. It was for my mom's birthday. Okay, so I'll just put this one here. Okay, and then Fairway was $83. So gas this week, we did not spend anything on gas. I'm gonna explain that more when we get to the budget check-in. Okay, miscellaneous. So there is a PayPal charge for $18, and I don't know what that is. I'm gonna have to ask David because I have no idea. I don't know if it's something I bought and can't remember, or if it's something he bought and didn't tell me about. And then we bought another game for Logan for $22. And again, I did not know about that charge until this morning when I was sitting down to do the budget. I'm like, okay, what are these two charges? I need to ask David about them. I mean, it's totally fine if David bought another game for Logan. I just want to make sure that David did that and that Logan didn't accidentally purchase something. Like, remember when he did that with David's computer? So I want to make sure that it was intentional and not accidental. Okay, so spending got 0 this week. Actually, spending, sinking funds, and savings challenge all got 0, and that's what I want to explain to you when we get over to the budget sheet. So let me lay down these stickers, and then we'll head over there and take a look at that. Okay, so the reason why my sinking funds and several of these categories down here got 0 is because I ran out of time this week to do that. Now, I don't want to get off track in these areas, so I am going to, the first week, so when I set up March, that first week of March, we are going to double whatever I didn't spend this week, we are going to double in that week. I've already done my budget sheet. I'll show you. So I have already set up my budget sheet for March here. And as you can see, I doubled sinking funds and I doubled savings challenges and, oh, I didn't double save that. Well, I'll have to fix that. And I still had plenty of money in the budget for this. So we are okay for March, it looks like. Okay, so for this week, for our rollover, we did have $886. Etsy was $450. YouTube was $500. Now, yesterday when I did my business budget, we were negative almost $200. And I still am going to receive one check from Etsy before the month is over on Monday. And I've already looked ahead today and it looks like we're going to be just fine. I was afraid that I was going to have to return some of this money to my business budget, but I'm not going to have to do that. So that's really exciting. Okay, so all together this came to $1836. But I am just going to double check my math here to make sure I did everything right last week. Yes, $1836. Okay, so coming down here to bills and debts, our fixed expenses, our student loan was $40, and Alliant was not quite $150. It was a little bit cheaper than that. Let's see. It was $139. So altogether, that would be $179. So $1836 minus $179. That brings us down to $1657. And I need to go update the chart. So at the beginning of the workbook, I have a bookmark there. Here we go. It's a bill tracker, and this is where I go and I check off the bills that are paid each week to make sure that everything gets paid. So student loan was paid this week and Alliant Energy. So we have finished the month, so we are good there. Moving down now to our variable expenses. This is our cash envelopes and our cashless envelopes. We have a few cashless ones as well. So we started with $1657. And then spending money did not happen this week. Food was a little bit more than $200. We got close to our goal, but we just went a little bit above. So we had $130 plus $83, $213. So we were $13 above goal there. Okay, gas, we ended up not spending anything on gas. Miscellaneous, we spent these two, which would be $40 out of our $50. And then savings challenge didn't happen this week. And again, we're going to do that next week. We're going to double it. Okay, so all together, let's see how much we spent. So we had $213 plus $40, $253. So $1657 minus $253. That brings us to $1404. Okay, so coming up here to our sinking funds. Again, sinking funds did not happen this week, so I'm doubling it at the beginning of next week. So we had $1404. and then these will all be 0. This did not happen. My goal this week for my Etsy shop was to get so before Black Friday, my turnaround time in my Etsy shop was about a week. And since Black Friday, it's been a 2-week turnaround. And my goal was to get caught up to a point where I'm back to a week. So I worked really hard this week to try and get to that goal. Unfortunately, I'm not quite there. I'm still not sending any orders out late, but they're still at about a 2-week turnaround. So we're going to keep working towards that. But that's why I didn't take time to do other things this week, like stuffing my sinking funds and my cash envelope. So I'm definitely going to make that a priority for next week to get that done. Okay, so coming down to extra debt. So we're not doing the extra debt payment this week, but we will be doing it next week, and we will find out in just a moment here how much is going to go to extra debt. So 1404. 1404. Okay, so all of this is going to be rolled over to start out the new month. Let me write this down. But we don't need this for the budget. So as you can see, I always start the month out at 0. So what's going to happen with this? So first of all, $1,000 is our cushion. So that stays in the account, and that was actually borrowed from our savings account. So eventually I want to pay that back. I'm going to come up with a plan to pay that back. But so the 404 is what we're going to get to apply towards our debt snowball payment. We're currently working on paying off Capital One. So next week, we're going to make a payment to Capital One of $404, an extra payment to Capital One of $404. So very excited about that. Okay, so let's go to the Where Did My Money Go worksheets at the back of the book. At the back of the month, I should say, not the back of the book. Okay, so I did have a special request to show you how to calculate this. So I will be calculating this category or this column with you guys today to show you how to do that. Okay, let's start at the top here. So our starting balance this month was $350. Our earned income was $3,968. Our other income was $591. So our other income was my bonus that I got from Etsy last month, and money from our cash envelopes that went to pay for expenses that money was originally designated and saved for. So I did transfer over $1,000 from our savings account. So altogether, our total monthly inflow was $5,909. Okay, so coming down to calculating the percent of our total monthly inflow. So we have the amount we budgeted, the amount we spent, and the difference. And then to calculate this monthly inflow, you're going to take this category here, the monthly spent, so 773, and then you're going to divide the monthly spent by your total monthly inflow. So divided by 5,909. And then this, you're going to multiply that times 100 to get your percent. So we spent 13% of our income on bills. So let's do this again. So for debt, we had $1,975. We're going to divide that by the total monthly inflow. Oops. And then we're going to multiply that times 100 to give us our percentage. So we spent 33% of our income on debt. Okay, so I'm going to continue to do this for the rest of the categories. So food is next. Okay, so now I have my total percentages, which we are going to use to compare this month to last month in just a couple of pages here. But let's first look at the difference for the categories. So 0 is good. That's what we want. We want to be as close to budget as possible. For food, we were above budget by $44, which actually I'm really impressed with because I was doing an experiment this month to just see how much we spent, and I was just letting us spend money for a few weeks there and just tracking that. So I thought I was going to be way above our budget, but that's pretty cool. Okay, Gas, we spent $20 less than I expected. Miscellaneous, we were $112 over, so that's not cool. Spending, okay, so spending, savings, and sinking fund. The reason why these are low is because we didn't do that last month, or the last week of the month like I had planned on doing. Otherwise, these would have been, most likely would have been zero. Okay, so let's go on to the next page, which is where did my money go? We're going to compare the debt versus the savings. So to start with, you start with your total monthly inflow, which for us was $5,909. It's the total monthly total monthly inflow is the same for debt as it is for savings. So that's why the number is the same. For monthly debt, we paid $19.75, and for savings, we spent $92. So let's see what percent of our debt went to the inflow. So to calculate that, you take your monthly debt payoff amount, which for us, which was $19.75. You divide that by your total monthly inflow, and then you multiply that times 100. And that will give you your percentage. So 33% of our income went to debt. Let's see how much of our income went to savings. So again, we take our total monthly savings, which was $92, and we divide that by the total monthly income. And then we multiply that times 100. So, and I'm not going to write 1.5, I'm going to round up. So 2% of our income went to savings. So coming down here, this is where you take a closer look at each category to see what percent of that category went to debt. So our mortgage was $13.71. So to calculate the percent of category to debt, we are going to take $13.17, and we're going to divide that by the total monthly debt payoff amount, and then we're going to multiply that times 100. So 67% of our monthly debt payoff went to pay our mortgage. Okay, so now let's calculate the SUV. So we take 118 divided by the monthly debt payoff and multiply that times 100. So 6% went to paying off the SUV. Let's see what percent went to student loan. So we take our student loan payment, we divide by the monthly debt payoff, and then we multiply that times 100. So 2% went to paying off our student loan. And let's see what percent went to Capital One. So 500 divided by 1975 times 100 is 25%. So 25% went to paying off Capital One. Okay, moving over here to savings challenge. Well, actually, this will be 100%. 100% of what we put away for savings went to the savings challenges. Okay, moving on now to the last page in this process. This is of where did my money go. This is the monthly spending comparisons. This is where we're going to compare how we did in January versus how we did in February in all of our budget categories. So to start with, she has you calculate your monthly inflow change, and she suggests that you use your total monthly inflow, but to me that doesn't tell me anything because the total monthly inflow includes other income, it includes our savings. I would rather take a look at my earned income and see how my earned income has changed from February to January. So my earned income in February was $3,968, where my earned income in January was $4,242. So that means that we made $274 less in February than we did in January. So looking at last month, I made significantly less in January than I did in December. December was a huge month for us. January was also a really good month for us. But as you can see, what's happening, the trend that's happening right now for my sticker shop is that sales are going down. And I'm not surprised because I think a lot of people purchase planning stickers at the beginning of the year, so December, January, to get ready for the upcoming year. So I'm not surprised that it's gone down, but I hope it doesn't continue. Because then we'll have to start sacrificing in our budget categories. Okay, so looking at what we spent in February. So let me get February's numbers. So for bills, we spent $773, which was 13% of our income. So I like to, when it looks at the change amount, I don't really want to look at the difference of money that we spent that changed. I like to look at the difference percentage of my income that changed, percentage of my budget that changed. So in this case, 0. 13% of my budget went to bills in January, and 13% of my budget went to bills in February. Okay, so it's a change of 0. So debt, we put $19.75 towards debt this month, so we were able to put more money towards debt, and it was 33% of our income. So we actually went down by 3%. Okay, for food, we spent $8.44 on food this month. So we spent less money on food this month, and that was 14% of our budget. That's a difference of 7%. So we paid 7% less towards food this month than we did last month. Gas was $60, which was 1% of our budget, so that is a change of 0. Miscellaneous was $312, which was 5% of our budget, so that is 2% less on miscellaneous this month than last month. Okay, moving on to spending money. So we did $135, which was 2% of our budget, so 2% less to that. Sinking funds was $315. Which was 5% of our budget, which again is 2% less. Savings challenge was $92, which was 2% of our budget, so that was an increase of 1%. And then rollover, so last month we had a rollover of $350. This month, oh, I didn't calculate rollover. I need to calculate rollover. Okay, so this month we're rolling over $1,404, which is the percentage of our income was 24%. Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, so that's a huge difference in the percent of our income that we're rolling over. So 24 minus 7. So that is an increase of 17%. In tomorrow's video, I'll be setting up my budget for the month of March. I will also be sharing my meal plan for the first week of March. So I hope that you come back tomorrow and join me for that video. If you enjoyed today's video, will you please give it a thumbs up? And I will see you all again next time. Bye, everyone.